feelings following the tragic accident that happened in Chamisa, Seke Road. It was a very, very horrific accident. I know that in Zimbabwe there is no proper media reporting. Information is limited, but if people get to see the horrific scenes that came out of that accident, and also the dismal failure by the government to handle that accident, because it lacks capacity, by the way, it lacks capability to address that. Nelson Chamisa has responded. Yesterday he wrote a statement, but today he decided to be comprehensive and respond, giving more insights as well as also his views. I will be reading his speech as it is, and then I will maybe analyze here and there. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Hloniphani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So in a statement he posted with the flag of Zimbabwe entitled "Rescuing a Nation in Mourning," Nelson Chamisa wrote the following: "This morning our team presented an intelligence report." Oh, Nelson Chamisa has an intelligence team. That is quite interesting to note that he has an intelligence team. So, intelligence report from the tragic Chamisa accident. What happened on the 22nd of July 2025 along Seke Road must be more than just news headlines. It must become the sobering turning point for our nation, the stark reality of the cost of systematic failure. We must all take a sober pause to reflect. Indeed, but does Zambia or Zimbabweans actually take a sober moment to reflect? Because that accident exposed the government of Emmerson Mnangagwa to the core. Let me continue. As we look beyond this tragic, this is Chamisa event, we must understand more the stories around. Each name, each journey, each final moment, all speak of a nation where survival itself has become a horrible nightmare. I think I've repeated this numerous times that it's quite difficult for people to survive in Zimbabwe. That is why you see other children, other people's children opting to move out of Zimbabwe. The situation is unbearable. Zimbabweans have tolerated pain and agony for the longest period of time. I think I agree with Chamisa there. And then he says, what we have witnessed are not just human errors, man-made mistakes or technical failures, but also personal tragedies rooted in deep leadership failure, national dysfunctional and collapsing infrastructure. Of course, I think I shouldn't add anything more than that. The story of a young couple and their child immediately described the reality of national failure and system decay. In Chamisa, a young couple on a normal day made what should have been a simple trip to register their child for a birth certificate. So this is part of the victims, a family that is a husband as well as a wife and a child going to get a birth certificate. Yet that became a final moment. The question is, why must families travel across towns, cities to access such basic services? This is a very, very important question. Why should it be difficult for access of a simple document such as a birth certificate? You have to take a taxi and travel long distance to get a birth certificate. I think this is what is confronting all the people of Zimbabwe. In all the locations in a normal country, there should be a registry office actually giving people birth certificate. Not this nonsense whereby if this service was offered locally, this couple would not have lost their lives. What a painful, it's really painful. I didn't know that. It's important sometimes to read some of these issues to understand the impact of an accident. So, the where was I? Yes, certificate. Yeah, that became a final moment. The question is, why must families travel across town cities to access? Yes, I've read that. Why are such services not decentralized to local access points? That's what I was actually emphasizing on. Another story of an elderly woman. So this is another victim who succumbed to that accident. Traveling a long distance with their young relatives to collect groceries. This is so painful. All stories are so painful, by the way. This is the lived reality of our broken economy. It means families have to make a long trip from Rewa to Chitungwiza just to collect groceries, traveling long distances for essentials in what millions of Zimbabweans is what millions of Zimbabweans are forced to do just to meet more basic needs. Where is our disaster preparedness and emergency readiness? Where is the preservation of our national interest and national pride? There is absolutely no national pride at all after reading this. The Chitungwiza Road accident has many lessons, but does ZANU-PF learn? The absence, I think it was absence of emergency facilities such as rescue cranes and the cutters was the most appalling. I see we had to use social media through individuals to beg for a private owned crane. Hey, Kosiam, owned crane. People were crying in pain under the truck before the crane arrived. Yet in such tragedies, time is of essence. We must fix this. So some of the people who perished there, they were not supposed to perish. The government did not have equipment to actually rescue them. I think I covered that story, but I wasn't that deep. And thanks to Nelson Chamisa for raising these issues through. It shows that he really had an intelligence. This can be obtained by an intelligence. We will be haunted by the agonizing cries for help from those trapped, injured, or dying with no adequate emergency response equipment in sight. That pain, that helplessness will haunt our collective conscience for years to come. But does ZANU-PF have conscience anyway? I'm just reading this, I'm feeling the pain. It's like I was watching this horror movie transpiring. And the people of Zimbabwe, because we have normalized the pain, it is of no essence. In another country, people would be up in arms. No one deserves to die in such a manner. No one actually deserves to lose his or her life in the manner these Zimbabweans lost their lives. And it says, that pain, that helplessness will haunt our collective conscience for years to come. And all this tragedy unfolded before we even account for the series of technical failures that we live with daily. The Seke road corridor is talking about the road now. The Seke corridor is unfit for modern transport. There is a need to uplift our enforcement with regards to road safety, to include corrective measures that are regular and consistent, and increase accountability. Emergency response services are under-resourced, under-equipped, and unable to cope. I think I have spoken about that. That is the Zimbabwe we are living in. These moments must cause us to sober up. But can Zimbabweans sober up? Reflect deeply. Can they reflect deeply? And to accept this truth, things cannot go on like this. I'm telling you, we have actually accepted a lot to be actually going on in that particular country. Think this is not a normal life. This is not what the people of Zimbabwe deserve. My brothers and sisters, we don't deserve this. And it goes on to say, we simply cannot keep normalizing pain, loss, and dysfunction. We must emerge from this reality stronger and fortified, God guiding us, through it all. So that was the statement. I mean, I never thought I would actually feel the pain as I'm feeling now, listening to that story, especially of a young couple which was obviously dreaming maybe to do something for their child, and expecting a lot from their child. As a father, you see, that struck me, that a couple, most probably a loving couple, and you can see that they were loving each other. They had actually to accompany each other, carrying also the child as an evidence, something that they valued so much, their precious gift, only to succumb to this accident and to die as a family in such a painful manner. This is happening under the man who is promising the people of Zimbabwe that in 2030 he would have actually created a miraculous, successful country. How? When I strongly believe some of these people could have been saved on this accident. But just imagine, people had to use social media to source for cranes. The government does not have cranes. These are the people who actually give tenders to individuals like Wicknell Chivayo, donating more than 200,000 United States dollars to individuals. How much is a crane? How much cranes will the government buy if they are serious about you, the people of Zimbabwe? I mean, I feel it's so painful when I chronicle such stories, because how many would they have bought actually if they are serious and considerate about you? They know that when they get sick, there is a helicopter waiting to actually airlift them to South Africa and eventually to their friends in China or Russia to receive medication. But what about you, an ordinary citizen of Zimbabwe? You are just the only thing they can do when they need you is to throw those chickens, poorly fried chickens, to you when you attend your rallies, and it ends there, and to provide you with transport. This is pathetic. It's a pathetic country, and this thing has to come to an end. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button